when you realized that you needed to take time to care for you, not only, your
Mhm.
spirit, get out, have some fun, dancing, moving physically.
Mhm.
How did you feel like when you allowed yourself finally that opportunity?
Um, I felt more relief. I felt at peace. I
Yeah.
felt like I was finding a part of me that had been missing for several years and reconnecting with that part of me of being this young, carefree, vivacious person to being this rigid, scheduled, caretaking person. And so bridging that gap really opened my eyes in a lot of ways.
What if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? What lies within you is the power to live brighter, bolder, and truer than ever before. So, welcome to Vivatude, where caregiving, connections, and career come into balance, and where your vitality, vision, and voice shines through. Because the revolution isn't out there, it's already within you. Welcome to Vivatude.
Welcome, everybody. I am Coach Tracy. I am your host for the Vivatude podcast, and I have my topic is pretty much everything about the physical aspect and the environmental aspect for caregivers. And today I have a really amazing guest with me. I'm really excited to hear her story. I know just a little bit, and I think she's going to be amazing for all of us because she's literally speaking not as the professional offering support or something like that as a position, correct? She is actually living the transition. So basically, Kimbra, her husband had a stroke at the age of 42 in 2019, and she's going to be talking about the transition from being a wife to now being a caregiver and what that is like for her. So, Kimbra, thank you so much for being with us and welcome to the Vivitude podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, yes. So, um, just kind of tell us what happened and how this started and the story from, what you had before and then when the stroke happened, so we can get a good idea of.
Sure. So my husband and I, we met when we were 19, right out of high school. And from the beginning, it was a really good relationship. He was the love of my life. And for the first few years, everything was perfect. We were happy, we were compatible. We woke up every day choosing each other. And then on January 7th of 2019 at 2 a.m., he started complaining of a really bad headache. And so I got him something for the headache. And then all of a sudden, it just started progressing. So I called 911 and they took him to the hospital. And they told me that he had a bleeding, like basically the vessel in his brain burst. Um, and so that was the beginning. At that time, they put him in a medical coma. And for the next 10 days, it was just wait and see.
Mhm.
When he first woke up, he couldn't talk, couldn't walk, couldn't feed himself. So he ended up being put into a nursing home for a year. There he did uh, regain the ability to walk. He regained the ability to feed himself. He can dress himself. Um, but he still has issues with memory. He still has issues with cognitive skills. Sometimes he's more like a child than a
Mhm.
husband. So now I'm at the point where instead of being his wife and his partner, I'm the one to tell him, don't do that, do this. And so it's really, really changed the dynamics of our relationship from where we were before to where we are now.
It's heartbreaking. I'm so sorry this happened to him and you. And what what were you feeling at the time? um, when he woke up and had to go into the nursing home. I mean, what was happening with you?
My main thoughts and my main concerns was to get him back to where he was before the stroke.
Hmm.
So I was, whatever I could do to help that happen. So I was, fighting with the insurance, making sure everything was taken care of, and with this hope that one day he would be who he was before.
Hmm.
But now, after 7 years, I'm starting to see that may not be possible.
Hmm. Yeah. And is he with you now, or is he still in a care
He's
facility?
home now, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. What what have you found to be um the most important thing for you to take care of you during this time as well?
For a long time, I was in survival mode. I didn't think about myself. I just thought about him and his care. And it wasn't until September of last year that I went down this rabbit hole of writing a book. And it had nothing to do with caregiving or anything like that. But being at that point, I kind of woke up and I realized that I had been neglecting myself all these years. So now I'm looking to get out more, spend more time with friends. I went to San Antonio last month and I went dancing. I hadn't been dancing in years,
That's
but
amazing.
I
Yeah.
did go out and I went dancing and I just had so much fun, and I realized that I need more of that in my life.
Yeah, I think too, I've been a carer for my mom, and there's also that thing of it takes so much of your time and your mental energy,
Mhm.
and if it's a little bit different for you, please let me know. But also, even when I'm not there with her, it's
Mhm.
there mentally
Yes.
and
Mhm.
emotionally and carrying that. I can only imagine
Yes.
what it would be if it was my husband,
Mhm.
and when you realized that you needed to take time to care for you, not only, your
Mhm.
spirit, get out, have some fun, dancing, moving physically.
Mhm.
How did you feel like when you allowed yourself finally that opportunity?
I felt more relief. I felt at peace. I
Yeah.
felt like I was finding a part of me that had been missing for several years and reconnecting with that part of me, of being this young, carefree, vivacious person to being this rigid, scheduled, caretaking person. And so bridging that gap really opened my eyes in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And how would you, I want to come back to that too, because
Mhm.
and this, you're living it. We see it all the time that as caregivers, you end up suppressing who you are in a
Mhm.
survival mode
Yes.
and then allowing yourself um, the grace and realizing you are important and
Mhm.
you do need to live your life as well. And
Mhm.
what would you say to somebody that may be walking down the same road as you? They're married and something has happened, and now what advice could you give them? Maybe that you would
Yeah.
have loved to have heard in the beginning.
I think what you said kind of hits it on the nail. Give yourself grace, because
Mhm.
for a long time, and even now sometimes, you feel guilty because you want to live and you want to be who you were before, and it's not their fault that they're in this situation. So that
Mhm.
guilt creeps in of, well, maybe I don't need to do that, and maybe I don't need to care for myself because this person needs me. And just allowing yourself that grace of, you are a person too and you deserve happiness as well,
Mhm. Mhm.
and whatever it takes to find that happiness,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
feel don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah. Maybe acknowledging or spotting it when the guilt
Mm-hmm.
starts to come up or that doubt. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, I know for me too, sometimes I can suppress it and I push it down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but maybe acknowledging it can help ease it and help it go away, or ease the
Right.
pressure.
And I
Um,
think another thing that's really hard is the fact that everybody always says, "Oh, you're so brave and you're so strong," and so that builds onto that guilt of,
yeah.
yeah, I'm supposed to be strong and I'm supposed to be brave and I'm supposed to be this amazing person, but yet I feel like I'm dying inside.
Hmm.
And so I think that that's where that grace again comes in.
Yeah, and I was thinking too, because we were chatting a little earlier, because I lost my
Mhm,
husband. It'll be 4 years, May
mhm,
23rd.
mhm,
And he passed away. And
mhm,
people understand that grief that you can have when someone passes away. But
mhm.
you are experiencing grief because that person that he was has gone, right? I mean,
Right.
did you feel grief and sorrow and sadness? I mean, I can only imagine maybe
Mhm.
what you're feeling.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Once, like I said, in the beginning, not as much because my mind was so determined, oh, he's going to come back to me. But then when I woke up and realized that he may not, that's when the grief came in. That's when the
Yeah.
tears fell. And like you said, knowing that that person is gone, like they're physically still here, but who they were before is gone.
Mhm.
It is a very challenging place to be because you are grieving who they were, but you're still living with who they are now. And so
Yeah.
it's a very, very interesting place to be.
Yeah. I can imagine just from my experience of the sorrow
Mm-hmm.
and and how you would feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One thing and I'd love for you to talk about that too, when you realized that it was not going to change, that he was not be able to come back the way he was.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the tears and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did you just let them happen, or were you still battling with keeping them a little bit tempered, or how did that feel for you?
Definitely battling with it because like I said, you get that guilt of why am I hurting when they're the one who had the stroke, they're the ones who are going through this and living this. So
Mm,
what right do I have to feel that pain or that longing for what we used to have? So a lot of times I would um, try to hold back, try to keep it in, not let it out. But then there were those times when I just had to cry, um, because it can be very lonely when you get to that point.
mhm,
And it's like everything that we had before, the companionship, the love, everything. I mean,
mhm,
the love is still there, but it's altered because now instead of being like I said, being the wife, I'm the one to tell him what he can and can't do. And so
mhm.
that really changes that dynamic. So you start to miss that partner that you had that would support you when you're the one carrying all the weight now.
Yeah, yeah. It is interesting. I know, for me too. It'll be 4 years, but I was just talking. I was out to dinner with a friend, and I just said sometimes I just miss my prior life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sad, and I miss it. And
Yes.
and then going forward, though, I'm like, okay, the path is different now, right?
Mm-hmm.
As is yours,
Right.
and so you you've came to this process that you do want to thrive and you want to, feel who you were before in this new
Mm-hmm.
environment. And you wrote a book, and which would be
Mm-hmm.
fun to hear about that. And but but I could say, with carers, again, it's so important that we realize that we are people too. And it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting how you talked about, like, why should I feel guilty? Why should I feel um, bad when it didn't technically happen to me, but it really didn't impact you, and it happened to you too because he's your
Mm-hmm.
spouse.
Right.
It is an integrative situation. So it
Mm-hmm.
makes total sense that you would be grieving that, and you would want to grieve. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Um, so 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 you went dancing, you're
Mm-hmm.
finding yourself, letting yourself do things. Um, giving yourself grace. So tell me though, let's talk about that book because I don't know anything about it, but you wrote a book.
Yes, I wrote a paranormal romance. It's a young adult, takes place in the 90s because that's when I was a teenager. And I'm actually in the process of getting it ready to publish. It was supposed to be published before, but then with my mom getting sick and passing away, that kind
Oh,
of put a
yeah.
hold on things.
We will talk about that again. Okay, keep
Yes.
talking. I want to come back to
Okay.
that.
So yeah, so it was just something that came to me one night. I was watching TV and I got this idea and I just started writing. And like I said, it takes place in the 90s when I myself was a teenager. So it was like reconnecting with myself through writing this book, with who I was prior to all of this. And I think that's what really got me to wake up, was going back and reliving that through my characters.
I love it. I'm excited for you.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, and so do you think you would have written this book if this hadn't happened? It's just kind of interesting question.
I may have. When I
Mm-hmm.
was young, I used to love to write. It was something that
Mm-hmm.
I was always very good at. But with life and everything, it kind of like fell to the wayside. So who knows?
Yeah.
I might have gotten back to it, but I think it happened at a time when I needed it subconsciously without knowing it. And so I think that's why it came so easily for me to write.
Yeah. Yeah. I find it is very interesting how things like that'll happen. And I had just read a quote from the Dalai Lama the other day, and I posted it up to my page, but it says hope, and it says, remember that not getting what you want is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck, the Dalai Lama. And it
Mhm.
still seems
Mhm.
kind of like sometimes it feels shallow to me in a weird way, but I feel
Mhm.
like, with what's happened with your book, that it helped you in so many ways to recover and find who you are. And my lamp
Yes.
just went out, but that's okay.
Oh goodness. I
Gotta love
it,
it.
yes,
And
definitely.
I know, and so it makes me think again about we can't really choose what's going to happen to us during the day or our life, but
Mhm.
being willing to walk a path and being able to keep moving us 1 foot forward. Sometimes,
Mhm.
I don't know, for me, it was like a second at a time,
Right.
that's all you
Mhm.
have. And so now your mom, in the meantime, you said you've
Mhm.
lost your mom. So,
Yes. My mom was my rock. She was my foundation. We had a very close relationship.
mm,
When she had me, she almost passed away.
oh,
And so that kind of strengthened our bond. Actually, I wasn't even supposed to be born. There was a lot of complications, and the doctors told her that she probably wouldn't carry full term. But she was a strong woman. She was a determined woman. And she's like, whatever God wants, that's what's going to happen. And
mhm,
so she chose to still keep me and to have me. And so that really, really made a special bond between the two of us. And
mhm,
so losing her has been something that I've been not fully processing because
mhm.
I always knew that it would be the hardest thing in the world for me to deal with, was losing her.
Yeah.
And now that it's happened, it's like I've kind of gone numb in a sense
Mhm.
because I'm not ready to let all that in, if it makes sense.
It makes total sense. Um, and it wasn't that long ago, right? And
Yes.
even when it's not, even one thing I've noticed too is it doesn't matter how long it is.
Mhm.
It changes, but that absence is felt.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I lost my
Mhm.
dad in 2008 and I still feel that loss today,
Yeah.
almost 20
Yeah.
years later.
Yeah. Yeah. And so going back to how do you feel to make space for yourself in your home or your creative space? Have you done anything special for yourself and your environment to allow you space?
Um
Anything?
I I really haven't much.
Yeah.
Like he's usually in our room watching movies all day, and I'm usually like in the dining area working.
Yeah.
So I guess in that sense, I have that space, but
Mm-hmm.
it's, he still comes in and goes to the kitchen and does his thing. And
Yeah.
so, so I don't have actually a designated place where I can just go and be and relax. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It is. That's, I think, too, one of the challenges for carers, because you don't have you can even like try to make a space,
mhm.
but still like I said, it comes with you even when that person's not with you all the time. It's
Right.
there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so with is there anything, another tip you might think to give somebody that may be going through the same situation as you? Um,
Um, Let me think. Um, just know that you're not alone. That there are other people out there who are going through this and feeling this, and there's people that you can reach out to talk to. I know people tell me, well, why don't you join support groups? And I'm like, well, I've looked into them, and they're all these older people in their 70s and 80s when this usually happens. And
yeah.
so I was like, I can't relate to someone like that. So how am I going to join a support group for support when we're from two different worlds?
Mm-hmm.
So I've found a lot of my support through friends and other family.
Mm-hmm.
So just yeah, know you're not alone. There are people out there that you can talk to and that will listen and be there
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Yeah. I sometimes find too, it just helps to be able to voice. You don't really
Hmm.
need someone to have all the answers. So anybody that's
Hmm.
listening that is trying to support someone that's in this situation or who is a carer, sometimes it just helps to verbalize
Hmm.
and take a load off. And that, allowing an ear. So I'm glad that you found someone. And
Hmm.
it's true. I looked into support groups, grief groups for me as well. And and then it just didn't quite feel right because
Hmm.
again, the association of the timing of things,
Hmm.
I just hadn't found the right group. But
Right.
I did I did get in more involved with meditation,
Hmm.
forward thinking, learning how to calm my nervous system
Hmm.
and things like that. Um, so what let's see. So we've talked about grace, give yourself grace. We've talked about
Hmm.
that you're not alone.
Hmm.
And are there any tools that you've brought into the home that you maybe wouldn't have otherwise or have changed the way you've done things?
Um, Not necessarily tools, but one of the things that changed for me was um, my employment. I had worked for a guy doing tech and websites for several years, and then the business, like when my husband first had his stroke, he was very understanding. He'd let me bring my husband to the office with me. He'd let me take off to take him to therapy or to the doctor.
Hmm.
But he had to let me go for financial reasons. And so I was stuck in a place where, what am I going to do? Because I can't take my husband, no other boss is going to let me take my husband to work with me because I can't leave him alone. No other boss is going to let me have time off for multiple weeks, 2 or 3 times a week for him to go to therapy. So I did some prayer. I thought about it, and a voice came to me that said to start my own business. And so that's what I did. I now help women, entrepreneurs with ADHD, because I myself have ADHD. I
Oh,
help them with their back ends of their business and building their websites. And now I can be home with him and still make a living for us.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I find it so I don't know. It's like something. I don't feel so alone when a situation like you just said happened when
Mhm.
you're kind of at your low of lows
Mhm.
and you sit quietly with yourself. It could be prayer, just it could be meditation, whatever that looks like for you. And if we just, I don't know, have like a sincere, I'm open, maybe,
Mhm.
you know, it's amazing what
Yes.
comes.
Yes. Definitely.
Hmm. I and you see it often, and it's
Mhm.
sort of again, just your story is making me believe more and more that there's something that's
Mhm.
that is really an energy, whatever you could deem it. Could be God, it could be whatever it is that
Mhm.
makes sense in the type of spirituality that someone may have, and
Yes.
it's listening, and if we just sit quietly and open.
Mhm.
I guess for me, one thing that I've had to, I used to always be very controlling of my time, very,
Mhm.
everything was just, I had a plan and all this strategy and stuff. And the loss of my husband caused me to have to be open to the unknown.
Mhm.
Did, how are you feeling about that? And like in regard to your future and now?
Um, well, I've always been a believer in the unknown. Growing up, my
Hmm.
mom, she's always was very sensitive to those things.
Hmm.
So I grew up hearing her stories and experiencing things myself. So that was something that I've always had a close relationship with. Um,
Maybe. Hmm.
but as far as what the future holds, I still don't know. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot that I still want to do, still a lot I still want to feel. So I don't
Hmm.
know where the future is going to take me.
Yeah. And how does that feel? I mean, in regard to that. Uh,
It's a bit scary.
hmm.
It is scary because, like I said,
Hmm.
I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know where it's going to go. So that is scary because it'll be 30 years in August that me and my husband have been together. Um,
Yeah.
so it's kind of scary to think of what the future would hold in that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. It is interesting because it's a almost like it's a somewhat of a blank slate, but
Mhm.
not really.
Right.
Um, and for me, like working with my nervous system to release some of that tension has helped, or
Hmm.
um, and realizing I can think I control everything. I really control nothing.
Right.
I can just have an idea and move forward in the day. But being okay not knowing has been a challenge. And like you as well, like
Hmm.
you have this fear of like,
Hmm.
and how do you even plan for that?
Right.
I could see a lot of carers, people in your position feeling the exact same way.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. In regard to, well, it is interesting and it is very, I, I love that this is the situation with your employer pushed you and
Hmm.
allowed you to create your business,
Hmm.
which is amazing.
Yes.
And I'm so happy for you. That's phenomenal. But
Hmm.
also, again, we think about the aspect of carers and
Hmm.
the loss of income, the
Hmm.
losing a job, because
Yes.
everything changes and so everybody, you're not alone
Hmm.
in this, right? And
Right.
it changed me for a while with my mom got really sick, so I opted to not take any clients for a
Hmm.
good period of time. So I put them kind of on hold, and luckily a lot of them
Right.
were able to come back. But you, being a caregiver, you do lose that. You have
Hmm.
that happen. So
Right.
yeah, and so we talked about the fear, but also you have a lot of trust and a strong
Hmm.
belief system.
Yes. Hmm. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So say when you have fear come, what do you do to help still move yourself forward? Are there certain things that you do?
I just look at it like it's just got to get done. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
nobody else is going to do it, so you have to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
again, people say, "Oh, you're so strong and you're so brave," and I don't look at myself as being strong or brave. I'm just looking at it as it's got to get done, whether I want to do it or not. And so,
Mm-hmm.
just moving forward, and
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that was the one thing I did want to come back to is that statement
mhm,
of people that they're like, oh, you're so strong and you're so brave. And I've had a lot of that and I've put on a good front.
mhm,
But again, too, I still have that sometimes that it brews up and there is
mhm,
fear and there are tears and there is a feeling of
yes,
being alone and
mhm,
there's uncertainty. And
mhm,
I think again back to grace, um,
mhm,
and allowing those feelings, acknowledging them
mhm,
and saying we can't sit here in this fear,
mhm,
right?
right,
Um, Things have to get done.
mhm,
Um, I read or I learned I love following Joe Dispenza. He's one of my
mhm,
yeah, and I
yeah,
would say his work um, I found after my husband passed away. And
mhm,
so I do a lot of his meditations and things like that.
mhm,
And but again, it was the aspect of one thing he told me what, you know, or what he's talked to me personally, but one
right,
thing in his in many of his trainings was um was that, you know, we have these emotions that can come through and they will impact us physically because
mhm,
it could be grief, it can be stress.
mhm,
And because of, he said the body part, the chemical part that's physically in the body happens about 90 seconds. And if we
mhm,
can allow it for 90 seconds, the body will then subside and relax and you can move forward. And that's one thing
mhm,
where you're thinking, and if I'm putting words in your mouth, just you can
mhm,
rephrase me any moment. But so when I was grieving or sad or uncertain, I thought, okay, I just have to feel this for 90 some seconds physically,
mhm,
let all that out. So it might have been crying, it might have been
mhm,
who knows what. And then I was
right,
able, it was like okay, I can allow myself this.
mhm.
Um, I don't know if you experienced something similar or not, but
I don't know about the 90 seconds. Sometimes I think, I could be there for 2 or 3 hours crying. But I think it is important
absolutely.
to
Yeah.
get those feelings out, to not
Yeah.
bury them and ignore them,
Yeah.
because that's when illness comes in. That's when um, resentment comes in. That's when
Yeah.
things go south. So just
Yeah.
allowing yourself to feel those feelings in the moment,
Yeah.
and again, giving yourself that grace to feel it and to
Hmm.
experience it.
Yeah.
Then you can come back and be a better person for yourself and for the person that you're caring for as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just to support what you just said, yes, it's like that initial push, but doesn't mean you're going to stop crying, but that it eases that the chemical response that your body's
Yes.
physically having happen. And if you do suppress it, like you said, that's when illness happens,
Hmm.
and things like that. And so allowing the body to process, allowing the grief to process.
Hmm.
And mine would happen. I'll be like, it took me a while to be able to go to the grocery store and buy beets.
Hmm.
I still haven't
Oh.
bought beets. No, I can't say that. I tried buying beets and I got really sad because he always bought the beets and roasted the
Hmm.
beets. And so for me, it's beets. Still,
Hmm.
I have yet to achieve beets in like
Hmm.
40 years.
Oh goodness, yes.
It's odd things, and you must
Hmm.
feel the same. You know,
Yeah.
just these things that are different now.
Yeah, definitely. Like when it first happened, like one of the things is I've always loved music. Like for me, music is what nature is to other people. It's my breath, it's my oxygen. And I realized during that time I stopped listening to music. I was so focused on him that for some reason the music wasn't there. And so when I started listening again and I started feeling that breath and that oxygen, it was like, why did I give this up? This is
Hmm.
this is a part of me. but I was so focused on him that I didn't even think about it. It's like it turning on the
Mhm.
radio or dancing in my kitchen was never even a thought because I was so focused on him during that time.
Yeah, yeah. And that's true. So maybe
Yeah.
we could say to someone in your position or anyone caring for
Hmm.
somebody is what are the things you used to love to do
Hmm.
and and are they absent and you don't even know it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And it's true, music is amazing.
Hmm.
It can create all sorts of emotion just in its
Yes. Hmm.
essence
Yes.
and uh and it can bring a mood up. It can help you be like neutral and calm.
Hmm.
It can make you really sad.
Yes.
It's amazing. And you said something
Yes.
really cool about dancing in the kitchen.
Yes. Something I've always done. I love
Uh-huh.
to two-step. I learned to two-step from my dad when I was little, and then I took dance in high school and perfected it. And so I'll be here, I'll put on some old school country music from like the 90s and just be
Mhm.
two-stepping around my kitchen, imagining myself with some good-looking cowboy dancing on the dance floor.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's amazing. And letting your body move. Because I think
Hmm.
too, one thing I found that if I am distressed and angst and I don't move my body, it just makes it
Hmm.
worse, you
Yes.
know?
Hmm.
So you found an
Yeah,
outlet again.
I did. And I'm also, speaking of moving the body, I've gotten to where like I want to take better care of myself. So I've been exercising more. I've been watching what I eat. Of course, in San Antonio, that went to the wayside with all the Mexican food and pizza and burgers that I was eating up there. But, but I'm now that I'm back, I'm really committed to getting back into the habit of eating healthy and exercising
Hmm.
daily and just feeling good in my body, feeling good about myself.
Giving your body opportunity. Yeah.
Yes.
And it will respond. That's what I love about
Hmm.
our bodies because uh, they respond and
Hmm.
learning about what makes you feel good when you eat it
Hmm.
and you can think better.
Hmm.
So in terms of what's your first choice for like your new eating habit? Like what are you gonna tackle first?
Well, one of the things that I love to snack on, I used to eat a lot of chips and junk food. Now I found what I really enjoy is like zucchini raw, just chop it up and then put some like cayenne season or not cayenne, but Cajun seasoning and garlic. And it's a, for me, it's a really good snack. Also, I used
Mm-hmm.
to be addicted to like Dr. Pepper and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I've totally given up the sugars, totally given up breads, and just, having a nice glass of iced tea unsweetened. And
Mm-hmm.
so that way I
Mm-hmm.
still get that caffeine, but not with all those sugars.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's probably my favorite right there.
Yeah. When did you start? I know you'd mentioned, I can't remember what it was when you moved back. I can't remember when that was.
um, when I moved back to here, or
So I can't remember. So you were in San Antonio.
mhm. Yeah, I was in San Antonio for a month when my mom passed, and I just
That's
got
what it
back
was.
Monday.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I
Now you're
just got
back.
back home Monday.
That's right. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
I had I know I was missing something there.
Yes, I want to move back there, but I haven't made that move yet. I'm
That's right.
hoping
Okay.
to.
For everyone listening, we were talking before the broadcast, and so I kind of got lost on where she was physically.
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
Do
I
you?
left San Antonio when I was 12, went to
Yeah.
live with my dad, and I never really wanted to leave. Part of me is still there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whenever I go back, it's like I feel whole, I feel at home. And so, yeah, I'm working towards getting back there now.
That's great. Yeah. And I love that, I love your spicy zucchini option for everybody. That's a
Yes.
great idea. You got great flavor and a
Hmm.
crunch. And then I can taste it and the freshness and the water in it.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
hydrating for you.
Yes.
And giving up your sugar. Hard one is
Hmm.
bread sometimes. Oh,
Well, I've never really been a bread fan,
You
so
are
that one
so
was
lucky.
easy for me. The sugars was the hard one because, like I
Mhm.
said, I was addicted to Dr. Pepper. I loved,
Yeah.
ever since I was little, I've loved Dr. Pepper. So to give
Mhm.
it up cold turkey has really been an accomplishment I'm proud of.
Big time. And it was interesting. I love this conversation. I was a total sugar junkie.
Hmm.
I was eating, um, gosh, sweet tarts when I was
Hmm.
9, and they're the big ones.
Hmm.
And so I have a really hard time with those kind of sugary things. I can put chocolate aside. I don't have a problem with that.
Hmm.
But it's the sugar thing. And
Yeah.
and so it's just a little step at a time to
Hmm.
get it out of our lives. And I just always feel so much better.
Hmm.
But convincing my brain sometimes, I have to make sure I'm still on it with my mind because it sometimes it'll
Right.
think, oh, it's not a big deal,
Hmm.
and I'll
Yeah.
be, I definitely get more stressed when I'm eating too much sugar. I don't
Hmm.
think it's clearly when I eat too much sugar.
Yeah.
So anyone out there wanting to, make an adjustment, definitely tackling the sugar. And I love
Hmm.
how you replaced chips with another option.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, just giving yourself that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we've talked about a lot, and it's been amazing. So,
Yes. It has.
so, so incredible, your story. So, so for everybody, how would they find you if they have ADHD? Is that right? And they need to build
Yes.
a business and they want to be online or all of that. How does someone find you?
Well, right now, I'm in the middle of rebranding my website, but
Great.
they can find me on Facebook, also on Instagram.
Okay.
Those are the two places that I usually hang out.
Great. And we'll be putting the links for you down below
Yes.
in this YouTube. And then also we'll be on podcasts. So anybody, we may have listeners here on Apple or Google
Hmm.
or other platforms. You'll be able to find it in the notes below. Um, and again, I'm just going to reiterate, we talked about grace,
Hmm.
you know, gave yourself grace.
Yes.
Um, you mentioned know that you're not alone.
Yes. That's an important one.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Finding your tribe or something, right? To support
Right.
you. You're not alone that we may lose our job or we'll lose income,
Hmm.
which I feel
Yes.
like there's got to be a better situation for people in these situations, right?
Right. Yeah. When he first had the stroke, we were able to qualify for like Medicaid and all of that. So we were
Yeah.
able to have somebody come in and help clean the house and help take care of him and have that relief for me. But then
Hmm.
when my business grew, of course, I made too much to keep that.
Yeah.
And I was at a point where I was like, well, I don't want to limit my potential just to keep him on these benefits.
Yeah.
So I chose at that point to let those go and continue building me and building my business and making it a success
Yeah.
instead of limiting myself just so he could have those benefits.
Amazing. Yes. Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's something
Hmm.
that we should all be aware of, right?
Yes.
Um, and you talked about working through the fact that future is unknown.
Hmm. Yes. That
Yeah.
is that is a very, very true thing at this point.
Yes. Yes. I'm with you on that one. It's just, I have
Yes.
no idea. I don't, I know some things that I want to do, but
Hmm.
the whole vision is different now, and
Right,
and
exactly.
and allowing that.
Hmm.
Um, you talked about realizing that you had left music out of your life.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and let us know that you love to dance in the kitchen. You brought that back into your
Yes.
life.
Yes, I do. I love to dance in the
Yep.
kitchen.
Yep.
Usually, sometimes when I need a break when I'm working, I'll put my music on and just move into the kitchen and start dancing, dance down the hallway. And
I
yeah.
love it. And I think it's amazing. And I really recommend that for everybody. Find your
Hmm.
music, we don't have to take life so seriously sometimes that we don't allow that part of ourselves to flourish. And your body's going to love you. It can move. It's going to bring what serotonin and or
Yes.
right. My mind just went blank. And
A little bit of dopamine.
thank you. I was like the happy hormone. And you're starting to take care of yourself in terms of exercising and eating different. So
Yes.
and for everybody that thinks that this all falls in a timeline, it's been 7 years, you said?
Yes. It'll be 7 years. Well, it was just 7 years in January. So
just 7 years in January. And so it's an ongoing process. And for me, it's the same ongoing. And there's triggers, there's maybe a step back, a little step forward, that kind of a thing. So we should have some grace and not put a timeline on everything, except that maybe grace sooner can help. Yeah. So anyway, all right, Kimbra, thank you so much for being on the Vivatude podcast with me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. And all right, everyone, we will see you next time, and definitely check out the links to Kimbra's Facebook and Instagram accounts so you can watch for her book. Yes. And you can also be ready for her new website to be up and running. All right, everyone. Thanks so much.
And thanks for listening to Vivatude. 4 hosts, 1 each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter, because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.